All right. Okay, let's see if my stream holds up today. I just pushed the button. It died on me last night, like 15 minutes in, like I don't know, my whole machine crashed using VS Code, but hopefully we'll be okay today. So, all right. The ArcGIS API for JavaScript version 4.22 just came out today, along with the latest release for the online. The map viewer, the platform, and everything was all updated today as well. So go in there, try some new stuff out, check out all the different blogs that are out there for stuff and all the release notes for things, especially for the online stuff, the stuff that's in the map viewer and everything like that. I'm sure you're going to find some new stuff that you're interested in checking out and that you want to play with. I'm just going to spend a little bit of time here because it's my lunch break going over this release and some of the new things in there. If you have any questions during the live, feel free to drop them in the chat over here. I'll be keeping an eye on that. If I can answer, I'll answer. If I can't, well, I won't. Basically how it's going to go. But we have a blog post out there. Julie Powell put this out. This covers a lot of the stuff that's in the release notes in a little bit more detail. Well, it kind of highlights features and stuff that you'll find also in the release notes, which we'll go over. Check things out. But some of the really cool stuff here, this one's pretty exciting, is this animated flow renderer. Animated flow renderer, right? And it's basically a WebGL layer under the hood that does all these real cool animated flow stuff. And I'd seen this in demos and stuff over the past few months and whatnot, and it's really cool. It is really, really cool. So if you want to try this out, please feel free, give it a shot. It's got a lot of cool things here. So it's got a sample here. See, animated flow renderer with effects and blending, right? So you're kind of mixing everything in the mix. And let's check out what some of this code looks like in here. Make this a little bigger. 150. Okay, that should be good enough. Don't give me a hard time. So basically, get my tile layer in here. We give the effect. So we got a color ramp, right? We're going to be using, and says my tile. So here we go. So here's the renderer in here, and it says this is with the color ramp and everything else that we want for the imagery layer. But then when you take this imagery layer here, you're going to go ahead and use the animated flow, right? So you have the length and the density. So the length of these lines, right? What's the length going to end up being? And how what's the width's going to be. You could probably really crash your machine if you have a lot of data and you start messing with this stuff. I don't know. Maybe. I have no clue. Of course, it's going to use Bloom because, come on, Bloom is the future of effects everywhere. What happens if I do like a 5 Bloom here? Oh, that's beautiful. They should have done with 5. That's much better. I'll stick with the 0.5 here. Line width, I don't know. The 2 seems to be pretty nice, but if I like double that line width here, I guess. Okay, all right, that's fine. Oh my gosh, that's amazing. I really dig that. But again, you can go in here, you can start messing with this stuff. I'll do 15 because I can. And you start playing around with it, get a good visualization. You're not going to do this like this bright like that in your apps, but the default way, which is I just start undoing stuff. Okay, let's stick with that. Bloom 2, refresh. This is probably the kind of how you would do it. Be a bit more realistic in how you're going to be displaying these animated flow renderers. Don't blind your users. I don't care. I'll do it, but you might not want to. So this is really cool. It's just another renderer, right? It's not a new layer or anything like that. It's just a renderer that you can use in your applications with your data to do some really cool stuff. So try that out. Yeah, I mean, I don't know what else to say about that. I don't know the inner workings of how this works. Our WebGL dev worked on this stuff, and he did an awesome job. And I just think it's a great looking demo, right? So, okay, so that's the animated flow renderer. I mean, and overall, we've got improved performance and stuff. So especially like with polygons are always tough to draw on the map when you have a lot of them, right? Because if you think about it, I mean, you show 100,000 polygons. Well, by default, I mean, you have a minimum of like 3 vertices per polygon. So you got 300,000 vertices minimum to deal with, probably more. So that's a lot of stuff to draw, right? So we're really constantly working on the performance of that, on how to get that data drawn on the map view. So we did some work on points, and I think there's more work coming up on points. But yeah, so every release you're going to see us talk about performance improvements, because that's always key to what we want to do, right? 3D's got some cool stuff here, man. Look at this. Look at this. So you've got weather conditions in your applications, right? So control the weather, right? So if I come over here, nice sunny, bright, well, not sunny. It's a nice day out, right? But if I come over here and just make it rainy, oh, look at that. This is kind of how it is right now in SoCal. We've got it's rain going on outside out there, and then foggy. Oh, so foggy. Look at that. And you can start messing with, man, this mesh. This mesh just looks so nice. That's pretty sweet. But check out what the code for this looks like. Come here. I say my scene layer, right? And just the type. So there's a weather property now under the environment property for the view, for the scene view, that you can start applying to. And you got cloud cover. So what happens if I do like, if I double that? What happens? More clouds, I assume, right? Yeah, look at that. Oh, let's do one. Let's just cover the sky in clouds, man. Just that's very, very Euro, right? Rainy. Oh, feels like I'm in Berlin. Oh my gosh. Foggy. I guess this is what London looks like. I don't know. I've never been in London, so I have no clue. But yeah, sunny day. What's a sunny day look like? No clouds in a sunny day. I see got clouds back there. Atmosphere. That's not clouds. Those are atmosphere. But yeah, so you get the point of how you can play around with the weather in here. So okay, let's close that up. Line patterns in 3D. So this one's kind of cool. We've had some line patterns inside 3D for a while, but it looks like, well, we had dash before, I'm pretty sure, but now you have even more line patterns you can use in 3D, and I won't go in the demo of this one because I think this is I mean, it's lines, right? If you're dealing with line patterns and stuff, it's now supported inside 3D. You can drape it over features and stuff, so I think that's really cool. Oh, I see it's gonna match my legend. Is that a legend? I don't know if that's a legend or not down here. Interesting. Okay, but you get the idea. New stuff in here. Voxels, right? Voxel layers. It's beta right now, right? So let's see what kind of info they give us here. Used to visualize atmospheric or oceanic data, geological, underground model, or space-time cubes of voxel layers. It's like the first thing I think of when I see this is space-time cubes. There's also some really cool oceanic data I've seen that this would be very useful for. So if we come over here and check out this demo, really nice demo. I'm liking this. So intro to voxel layer. I mean, check this out, man. Oh, seawater temperature, right? So you got the temperature from, you know, sea level, and then go down below sea level to see what the different temperature is everywhere in here. That is nice. Like all the way down to ground. I'm guessing this is ocean. Oh, I don't know how to navigate 3D. I'm getting lost here. I'm guessing this is the ocean bottom, like right there, in this model. So man, that's cool. That is really cool, right? I wonder if I can like slice that data with the slice widget. I'm sure, maybe you can, maybe you can't. I don't know. I don't want to say sure you can, but it'd be fun to try. I'd have to play with that inside of a scene view to see if the slice would slice that data for me, because I think that'd be pretty cool. But yeah, so the voxel is really cool. I'm sure that people are going to find a lot of really good uses for it. I mean, if you're really interested in voxel layers, I think there might be some more info in the doc, the API reference for it. So come over here. So it's to talk more about how to, oh yeah, it requires WebGL too. And if you can look at this too. I think everyone should be fine with this. Some browsers, I'm not sure about Safari and stuff like that, may have some issues with WebGL too, but I think it'd be just fine most places, right? And that's just because that's what it needs. I'm sorry. If you have, if that's a limitation, Sorry about that. My bad. Not my bad. I didn't write this. You can go talk to somebody else. But you get the idea, right? This is like, oh, this would be a cool demo to have here. I wish we had that demo too. But I'm sure you'll be seeing more demos of this come out. Dev Summit coming up in March. I'm sure you'll be seeing more info about Voxel layers coming out there. I do know this is something that can be done via Pro as well when you publish the data. Again, I don't know, so don't ask me. This isn't my turf. I just like to play with this stuff and think it's really cool. So that's a cool one. Utility network tracing widgets. This one's kind of neat. It's not available online, right? So you do need to have enterprise services for this on-premise portal. It's not called on-premise portal anymore. I think it's just called enterprise server now. But basically, you can publish your utility networks via your enterprise services and consume them now in the web map. And you can use the trace widget to do the tracing in there. So what you do is that when you are publishing these in the web map, you publish them with some pre-built traces, and you can run those traces, or you can do a manual trace in here as well, which is really neat, right? So you kind of see this GIF. It's giving you kind of like how it works and stuff like that. We don't really have a demo for this one because it does the enterprise services, right? And there's not really a way to have public services with utility networks available out there. So it's kind of one of these things where we don't have a sample for it. But if this is something that you would need and you are using utility networks, check this widget out, try it. And if you ever come across any issues or want some feature enhancements, please go ahead and pass them through support and get them our way. It's really cool tool to do. This is the kind of work that like 10-15 years ago I was doing in Flex, and our utility network, well, it wasn't even it was a geometric network. It wasn't a utility network. It was a geometric network, but it was a custom geometric network that we had for the LA County sewer system that was just a beast to do, right? And it had all these different rules and database triggers and stuff in place to do. And we had custom APIs built to do all this stuff. And we had custom Flash applications that would do all this stuff. So be able to see this done in just like a widget and you publish it with your web map by default, I mean, I would have killed to have this back then. So it's really, really nice to see this kind of intricate work being done in such a simple way. If you've ever had to work with geometric networks in the past, or maybe even just utility networks now, this is something you can really appreciate, right? So yeah, check that out. Color ramps. So we got way more. I mean, look at that, over 500 color ramps now available to the API. There's some utilities you can use to get those color ramps, maybe use them. Now, why would you want this? So this might be something you might want to do if you are building a themed application, right? You want to theme your application based on the color ramps that you're using for your renders or your data. So you can get those color ramps and apply them to your application somehow, right? In your header or footer, maybe some sidebars or whatever you're doing. Maybe your fonts, something, I don't know what you're going to do. But yeah, have fun. It's a great little utility that you can play around with, right? Okay, so high density data. There's not a... Okay, so we got new guide topics. Check this out. So we have new guide topics on working with high density data in here. So I believe Christian Eknes wrote a lot of these visualization guides, right? So there's a lot of work went into this. So a lot of times people come at us with some of these visualization questions and how to do stuff, and we're going to direct you to the guide because a lot of work was put in there and there's a lot of detail in there and things you can learn from it. So I'm not saying RTFM, but go read the guides, please, because a lot of work went into them. So you can basically see here we got clustered and we have non-clustered data in here, right? So just that you compare that out. There's a lot of notes in here. So densities of a layer's features relative to the map scale. Always keep that in mind. I mean, I think that's pretty. You should know, right? Client-side techniques. Look at that. Clustering, heat map, opacity, bloom. I didn't even look at all this. Of course, I think bloom should get moved to the top, honestly, because that's what you're going to use, right? If I go here, look at bloom. You're going to obviously go to bloom first before you do anything else. Oh, that's so beautiful. I love bloom, man. I'm trying to push for more bloom stuff. I want bloom to be bloomier. But yeah, you get how it works. But yeah, this will give you an idea of how to work with bloom. points, and even have like snippets in here. My gosh, look at this. This is a lot of work went into this guide. Man, this is amazing. I haven't seen the whole guide. I saw some of them from before. This guide's kind of gets updated every release iteratively, right? So every time I find new stuff, I'm like, man, this is just great. So there are, look at that, line blooms, right? So this is road networks, yeah, highways and stuff with bloom. Okay, I'm having too much fun there. Server-side techniques, right? So there's a lot of things you can do when you publish the data, which is very nice. So this is kind of thing. So if you're dealing with, like a ridiculous amount of data, we're talking like maybe like close to 1 million points kind of thing. This kind of thing you might want to use, might want to do. Visible scale range is like the very first thing we start telling people, because if you've got, we always hear you want to display 1 million points on the screen. Well, that's great, but you want to display 1 million points inside your tiny little area, and like, what's that going to look like? It's just going to like be a sea of points that doesn't mean anything, right? It's going to look like a dot density render almost. So you want to do something. I mean, clusterings, for the client side, clustering is great, something like that. But in the server side, you might want to do something like visible scale range. You want to thin them out, which thinning is pretty nice too. And I think thinning is something you would see, this term anyway, is something that's using like 3D, where it thins out the data so you don't have so many points visible when you're looking. Aggregating the data and stuff is always a good one. Convert areas of points to polygons. So it's not really a heat map. It's more of like, aggregated polygons that, there are 500 points to this polygon, 2 points to that polygon. You can render them based on the number of points that were there, type of thing. And you have this whole little chart. This is a pretty cool chart. Look at this. Thinning, client side. So what's this mean here? Partial support. Okay, very cool. Server side, partial support. So what does that mean here? It's got note number 2, only by feature reduction selection. So yeah, feature reduction. That's one of the things you can set in the, I believe, scene view or the scene layer. The feature, probably scene layer, feature layer, but in the scene view. If you set feature reduction to thinning, then you'll get those like thinned out points. That's client side stuff. Only by scale driven filters, server side. So yeah, I don't mess with server side publishing too often anymore. So this isn't really my jam. But I'm sure if you do, you know what you're doing here, right? So we've got all this great smart mapping stuff in here. I'm like going through stuff. So we looked at bloom, aggregation. I'm probably spending a lot of time with this stuff, but I just think it's very, very cool. Look at, that's a pretty nice map. Look at that. Thinning, right? So we talk about thinning here. So we're thinning the data. So if I come in closer, yeah, there we go. So now we got more data showing up the more I zoom in, right? So that's thinning. Okay. Let's get back to the what's new here. Improved polyline labels. Label is always one of those things that people come around and go, oh, these labels aren't exactly how I want them to be. I mean, let's get real here. So labeling is not as customizable or as precise as you would get in desktop, right? I mean, it's some ridiculous stuff you can do with labeling in desktop, but we're getting close. We're getting there, right? We have a lot of different things you can do, a lot of different support for labels, and we're constantly improving that. All right, so look at this. Repeat label distance, all this. Yeah, okay. Geojson CSV RSS key updates. So refresh data. With this release, you configure CSV, RSS, Geojson layers to refresh. Okay, there's a sample out there somewhere for this. Hold on a second here. I know there is. If I do 422, is it going to give it to me? Oh, did you know that you can search that in the samples for that? So if you do the version number, it'll give you the ones that are tagged with that version number. I think basically when they were published, right? Yeah, I think so. That's the way it goes. Is this it? That's a refresh? Oh, that might be a refresh. Yeah, the dynamic URL. All right, let's look at this one. So Geojson layer with dynamic URL. See what the code look for this looks like. Okay, so I've got my Geojson endpoint here. So this endpoint is a API that's going to return Geojson results based on these custom parameters I'm going to provide to it, right? So I send these custom parameters with it, give it a start time, give it my end time, which could be a new date, and then some other parameters that it wants to get. So there's my GeoJSON layer there, or I can ask for orange. So I do that, and I now updated the custom parameters, right? If I come here, where's the update quick list, right? So here we go, here we go. Where's it doing? Something's happening. Where's the on click? There's got to be some on click stuff here. Let's see here. I don't know. It's in here somewhere where we're actually going through and we are going to add. Let me look for add event listener here real quick. There we go. There. So you change the custom parameters and do a refresh, and you're going to go ahead and refresh the GeoJSON result. And this also works for CSV and GeoRSS, right? So I think GeoRSS would be more if. So we don't know if the RSS data has changed once we've got it, but if you refresh it and the RSS data has changed, then we're going to get the new results with the GeoRSS, right? Get what I'm saying? Hear me? Yeah. Pretty sure that's the way it works. I can't imagine RSS data takes custom parameters. Or maybe it does. I might be wrong. Who knows? All right. So I'm just update. Oh, that's nice. Look at Bloom. What did I tell you? Everyone loves Bloom. When you even get listed here. That's pretty nice. I like that. That's a really nice sample. Untitled did a very good job in this sample. That's sweet. Digging it. Digging it. Okay. So that's like I said, that's true for the CSV as well. So if you have an endpoint that returns CSV data, or maybe the CSV data is updated every, I don't know, 5 minutes, so you know that. You can set a little timer and then do refresh on that timer or interval, whatever it is you want to do. Smarter, faster, and flexible pop-ups, right? So, okay, so this is all like performance-based stuff. Arcade to create pop-up content elements. Look at that, that's pretty nice. So now you can use Arcade to create the actual elements themselves. Ooh, I like that. Create pop-up charts from Arcade expressions. I don't think I've seen this one. Let's see what this sample looks like. Okay. Oh, I have seen a sample. Ooh, look at that. Nice. Okay. Yeah. So I was gonna say my font is zoomed in, or I've scaled it up, so I thought that'd be a little smaller, but it's okay. So okay, here's some of my arcade stuff in here. I get my expressions, I have my stats, top crimes. Okay, so then what am I returning here? Return fields, field infos, and attributes. That's nice. That is pretty cool. So again, here we go. Return the pop-up information. So I'm returning the media infos with my chart data, pie chart data. Oh, that is cool. So I come over here, and if I go to cycle through the charts, there's my column chart, there's my pie chart, another pie chart, which is a problem with pie charts, right? I mean, there might be a sliver in there somewhere, but probably not. This is just 100% for one thing. All right. There's a Pac-Man opening wide, and my column chart again. And you can see why pie charts, are frowned upon a lot of times. I'm joking. I'm sure they're useful in some way. Okay, so let's close that up. Okay, so that's pretty cool. So automatic preview of attachments, right? So this is pretty cool. I thought it did this before. I guess not. No, I think, yeah, I remember this. Okay, so this was how the attachments looked before, but now we have a regular preview of them. Feature specific effects in map viewer, right? So if you apply these effects in map viewer, so we're persisting feature effects in layers, either map viewer or programmatically in your app, as supported in the following layer types: CSV, GeoJSON, the OGC layers, and WFS layers. Oh, that's nice. Okay, cool. So once you do it all inside the map viewer, we're just going to go ahead and get it. This one here, people have been asking for this one for a long time. So the hit test, right? When you did a hit test in the map view, you only got the topmost feature for each layer in the map. So if you had stacked features inside one layer, you only got the top one. Now you get them all, right? So that was improved. This was, I mean, it's been worked on for a while, but the always concern was that if you have a layer with like a stack of like 1,000 features because you keep doing updates or something like that, that it might be an issue, but whatever. It works now. You guys got it. It's good to go. So we know some search widget updates here so that it could go ahead and prioritize candidates based on distance from the center of the view, right? So yeah, we're doing that now. That's the way that the sorting works there. You can always tweak that if you like it, if you want to. Time enabled bookmarks. This is pretty cool. So now you can go ahead and not just bookmark a location on your map view. You can go ahead and bookmark a specific time if it's time enabled data, or if you have a time extent on the map view, you can go and bookmark that time. So this date, Monday, and then you can do another bookmark for what it looked like on a Wednesday, or however you want to play with it, right? You're probably not doing it daily like that, but you're probably doing, well, maybe you would. I'm thinking like weekly bookmarks, but whatever. Oh, and this is like the end of the release notes here. So 3x end of Internet Explorer support. I think full on IE 11 support ends sometime mid next year, I want to say, early next year. I don't remember, but I know like even Microsoft is saying just go away, stop it. And that, I believe, is like the extended support you could buy from Microsoft. You could have bought from Microsoft years ago and said, you know, I don't care, I really need it, so you support my IE 11, here's my money, take it. I think that's what's ending right next year. So we're done, we're out of it, the game's over, get out of IE 11. I'm sorry. We've always said that even in 4x, there's no guarantees everything's going to work in IE 11, right? It might, there's stuff could work, maybe, but there's never any guarantee it always would. So there you go. That's an overview for 4.22. I really just kind of went over the blog. You can get more details out of the release notes. The release notes are going to include things like the all of the, well, I don't know if all, I think all the bug fixes and stuff that were done. If I can get my scroll down here. So this is everything we kind of looked at. Oh, what's this one? Support for ordering WFS layer. Oh, yeah, there's some stuff you can do now too, so you can support, I think, not just I guess a WFS, we had this in feature layer, I believe, maybe even, I don't know if graphics layer has it. But you can have it ordered by, so you can define what you want the order of the features to be drawn at. Looks like WFS layer is getting that now too. I don't use WFS layer, so, you know, whatever. It's like the open source feature service, which is cool, right? I used it years ago, but not in the API for JavaScript. So, yeah, but there you go. You got that. Refreshable layers. What's this one here? What's we got here? Easier graphic selection for Sketch. Okay, that's cool. Print widget. It's got some cool stuff. What else we got? Oh, identify. This is amazing because I worked on this. But the identify function now supports having sublayers. So if you use this inside of 3x, you would have to create these dynamic layer infos or dynamic info layers, dynamic layer info objects that pointed to layers in the service, blah, blah, blah. But now you just pass sublayers from map image layer and you can define the layer IDs you want to maybe limit it to, and you're good to go. But we've got breaking changes in here. I don't know what's breaking. I didn't break anything, so don't talk to me. We've also got some bug fixes listed. So if you have a bug you've been eyeballing, maybe check it out here, see if it was fixed or not. And there you go. We are set, good to go. That's 4.22. Nobody had any questions, so we are going to go and call it. My lunch is over. So don't forget to comment, like, and subscribe to this video. If you have any questions, feel free to hit me up on Twitter or drop in the comments here, and I will get to them when I can. Thanks a lot. See you next time.